Good morning. I believe someone may have been murdered.
Okay, where?
I believe it to be Miss Bianca Michelle Devins.
A chilling discovery rocked a quiet city, then exploded across the internet like wildfire. A young woman, a star in the digital realm, found lifeless in a scene too horrifying to fathom. What unraveled next was a case that shattered the line between the online abyss, unveiling the sinister underbelly of internet obsession. This is Bianca Devins' story, a rising artist snuffed out, the relentless investigation, and a courtroom fight for justice. On a warm summer morning, July 14, 2019, the world woke up to a nightmare no one saw coming. Imagine this. You grab your phone, scroll through your group chat, and there it is, a photo that stops your heart cold. That's exactly what happened to a friend of Bianca Michelle Devins. Guys, something's wrong, the messages buzzed. Someone on Discord posted that Bianca's gone. A chilling image of her lifeless body was spreading like wildfire, and panic set in. Was it real? Was it a sick joke? Before anyone could process it, someone dialed the police. "Good morning, I think someone's been murdered," they stammered. "I'm in an online group, and there's this picture. It's Bianca Michelle Devins." The call sparked chaos. Within hours, that haunting photo wasn't just on Discord, it was everywhere. Twitter lit up, Bianca's name trending as strangers and friends alike scrambled for answers. "I saw it on my feed," one user recalled. "It was trending, and I didn't even know who she was, just that something awful had happened." Meanwhile, in Utica, New York, a beautiful day was unfolding. The Boilermaker road race drew crowds, runners pounding the pavement, oblivious to the horror brewing online. But for Bianca's family, the world was crumbling. Her mother, Kim Devins, stared in disbelief as the image hit her phone. "No, it's not her," she whispered, stomping up the stairs. "It can't be my baby." Bianca wasn't just a name online. She was a vibrant 17-year-old, a talented artist, an aspiring model. Social media was her playground, multiple Instagram accounts, a huge Discord following. She was a chameleon, shifting personas to fit her digital world. She could escape her struggles there, a friend later said. It was her safe space. But that space turned deadly. As the photo spread, skepticism swirled. "It's fake," some argued. "People fake stuff like this all the time for attention." Others weren't so sure. Memes popped up, cruel, twisted jokes, sent straight to her family. "It was psychological torture," Kim cried. "Who does this?" Police in Utica sprang into action. The first call came early, shaky and urgent. "We've got a possible homicide," the dispatcher relayed. "Online reports, photo evidence." Step 1, trace the source. Detectives dove into Discord, chasing digital breadcrumbs. Where did it start? Who posted it? The image was grainy but gruesome. Bianca's throat slashed, her body limp. "We needed to confirm it," an officer later testified. "Was this real or a hoax?" They cross-checked missing persons reports, zeroing in on Bianca. Her family hadn't seen her since the night before. A sickening dread settled in. Then a breakthrough. Phone pings. The suspect wasn't hiding. He was taunting them, posting his location like a dare. "He wanted us to find him," a detective muttered, and find him they would. The police didn't waste a second. With the phone pings lighting up their screens, they zeroed in on a dead-end road just outside Utica, a place that would soon become infamous. "Stay on the line with me," the dispatcher urged the suspect, Brandon Clark, his voice eerily calm over the crackling connection. "No, I'm not staying on," he snapped back. "I'll be dead on the ground soon." Then, a chilling final clue. "You'll find me where the road ends." Click, the line went silent. Officers raced to the scene, tires screeching, hearts pounding. What they found was worse than they'd imagined. Brandon's car sat there, parked crookedly, like he'd given up hiding. And beside it, Bianca, her body lifeless, blood pooling on the pavement. But it wasn't just a body they discovered. Brandon was still there, alive, a knife in his hand, slashing at his own throat. "Drop it," an officer bellowed, gun drawn. He didn't. Instead, he smirked, took a selfie with Bianca's corpse in the background, and posted it, right then and there. It was like he was performing, a cop later said, voice shaking. He wanted the world to watch. They tackled him, wrestled the blade away, and cuffed him as he bled out, muttering nonsense about love and betrayal. Paramedics rushed in, but for Bianca, it was too late. For Brandon, they patched him up just enough to keep him breathing. He wasn't escaping justice that easily. Back at the station, the investigation kicked into overdrive. "Who is this guy?" detectives demanded, poring over Brandon Clark's digital footprint. He was 21, a quiet kid from the area, no criminal record, nothing to suggest this level of brutality. But his online life told a different story. He and Bianca had met through Instagram, dated briefly, then drifted apart. She made it clear she didn't want anything serious, a friend of hers explained. He seemed fine with it, until he wasn't. Digging deeper, they found his phone, a goldmine of horror. A checklist typed out days before. Set up speakers, pick the last song, kill her. He'd even searched how to choke someone and fastest way to bleed out. It wasn't random, it was planned, down to the last sick detail. Theories swirled among the team. Was this a crime of passion? Maybe she rejected him one too many times, one detective suggested, frowning at the evidence. He couldn't handle it. Another piped up, or he's just unhinged, a stalker obsessed with control. Then they found the video. Tucked away on his device, Brandon had recorded the murder, Bianca asleep in his backseat, unaware, as he slit her throat to a haunting soundtrack. This wasn't just a killing, the lead investigator whispered, face pale. It was a production. The question now, why? Why her? Why like this? The answers were coming, but they'd shake everyone to the core. The investigation was spiraling into something straight out of a nightmare. That video, it wasn't just evidence, it was a confession Brandon Clark had gift-wrapped for the police. Detectives sat in a dim room, the glow of the screen casting shadows as they watched it play out. Bianca, peaceful, maybe sleeping, sprawled across the flattened backseat of his car. Then Brandon's hand, steady and deliberate, wielding the knife. The music blared, some dark, pulsing track he'd chosen to score his crime. He staged it like a movie, one officer muttered, turning away. Who does that? They rewound, paused, analyzed every frame. The timestamp matched the night of July 13th, 2019. She'd been dead hours before that first photo hit Discord. Step 2. Piece together the timeline. Witnesses placed Bianca with Brandon earlier that evening. They'd gone to a concert together, just friends, or so she thought. She posted a selfie with him, a detective noted, scrolling through her Instagram. Smiling, carefree, nothing off. But something had shifted. Phone records showed texts between them, casual at first, then tense. He wanted more than she was willing to give, the lead investigator theorized. She drew a line, and he snapped. They pulled CCTV from the concert venue, grainy footage of them leaving together, Brandon's arm slung around her shoulder. She didn't look scared, not yet. Next, the car. Forensics swarmed it, combing for every scrap of proof. Blood, hers coated the seats, the floor. His DNA was there too, mixed with hers, on the knife, the steering wheel. He didn't even try to clean it, a tech remarked, shaking her head. He wanted us to know. They found the speakers, the playlist still queued up, and that checklist on his phone, every box ticked off like a macabre to-do list. But one detail gnawed at them. A manga book, Pun Pun, tucked under the seat. It's dark, violent, an officer familiar with it said. Star-crossed lovers, twisted ending. Sound familiar? Was this his script? Did he see himself and Bianca as some tragic, doomed pair? Theories hardened into a narrative. He lured her there, the lead detective concluded, slamming a file shut. Took her to that dead-end road under some pretense, maybe a late-night talk. Then he killed her, filmed it, and shared it to punish her, her family, everyone. But why post it? Attention. Another chimed in. He's an incel. Rejection turned him into a monster. The term incel, involuntary celibate, kept cropping up. Online forums linked to Brandon's accounts buzzed with resentment, men railing against women who denied them. He fits the profile, a profiler nodded, entitled Obsessive Unhinged. Still, doubts lingered. Was it ideology or just personal rage? Either way, the evidence was airtight. The case was heading to court, and Brandon Clark was about to face the firestorm he'd ignited. The courtroom was a pressure cooker, air thick with tension as Brandon Clark's trial loomed. It wasn't a question of if he'd done it. The video, the photos, the checklist left no room for doubt. But justice demanded its day, and on February 10th, 2020, the gavel fell. Brandon shuffled in, shackled, his face blank, almost bored. Across the room, Bianca's family sat stone still. Kim, her mother, clutching a tissue. Frank, her grandfather, eyes burning with quiet fury. "We wanted him to feel our pain," Kim later said. The prosecution didn't hold back. This wasn't a crime of impulse, the lead attorney thundered, holding up a still from the video. Brandon Clark planned every step to kill Bianca Devins, to film it, to share it with the world. Witnesses took the stand, voices trembling but resolute. A Discord friend recounted the photo's first appearance. "It popped up in the chat around 4 a.m., he said, swallowing hard. "We thought it was fake, until he kept posting. More angles, more blood." The defense squirmed, but the prosecution pressed on. A forensic tech walked the jury through the car, blood patterns proving Bianca was attacked lying down, defenseless. "He staged her body after," she testified. "Moved her, posed her for the camera." Then came the video. The judge warned the room. "It's graphic." Jurors flinched as it played. Brandon's cold narration over Bianca's final moments, the music swelling like some sick symphony. He wanted an audience, the prosecutor snarled, and he got one. The defense had little to work with. Their angle, mental instability. Brandon was disturbed, his lawyer argued, voice thin. Obsessed with Bianca, yes, but not in control of his actions. He's not a monster, just broken. They pointed to Pun Pun, claiming it warped his mind. He saw this as a tragic love story, the attorney insisted. Delusional, not calculating. The prosecution scoffed. "Delusional men don't write checklists," they shot back, flashing the phone screen to the jury. This was premeditated slaughter. Back and forth it went, mental health versus malice. Kim shook her head from the gallery. "He knew what he was doing," she whispered to Frank. "Every second of it." Then, a twist. 5 months after pleading guilty, Brandon tried to flip the script. "I want a trial," he declared in July 2020, forcing the family back into court. "He's playing games," the prosecutor fumed, toying with their grief. The judge agreed, denying the change, but not before Kim and Frank faced him again. "For the cruel way you took my daughter," Kim said, voice breaking, "for posting her body like a trophy, you deserve no mercy." Frank's words cut deeper. "You stole her light, her heart, for your own selfish thrill." The room held its breath. Sentencing was near, but outside, the world was already screaming its verdict. The courtroom drama wasn't the only storm brewing. Outside, the world was on fire with Bianca's story, and it wasn't letting up. By the time Brandon Clark faced sentencing, social media had turned into a battleground. "I couldn't escape it," a Twitter user posted. Her name was everywhere, trending for days. Hashtags like Justice for Bianca and Rip Bianca flooded feeds, alongside something darker, those photos, shared and reshared, a grotesque ripple effect. "It was sickening," a friend of Bianca's tweeted. People made memes, jokes, like she wasn't real. Kim Devins saw them too, sent straight to her inbox. "It's like they were stabbing us all over again," she cried. "Where's the humanity?" The media pounced, outlets like Rolling Stone and CNN dissecting every angle. Reporter E.J. Dixon, who covered it for Rolling Stone, hit the airwaves. "This wasn't just a murder," he said, voice steady. "It was a performance. Brandon wanted the spotlight, and he got it." Newsrooms buzzed with questions. How did this happen? Why did it spread so fast? Social media amplified it, a pundit argued on TV. One post, and it's global in minutes. But not everyone agreed on the narrative. Online, whispers grew into full-blown conspiracies. What if she faked it? One ex-user mused. Teens do that for clout. Another chimed in, maybe it's a setup, someone else killed her and he's the fall guy. No evidence backed these claims, but they thrived anyway. Then came the incel angle. Behavioral experts like Stephen Crandall weighed in. Brandon fits the profile, he told a podcast. Involuntary celibate, rejection fueled his rage. Forums linked to incels lit up, some hailing Brandon as a twisted hero. He showed her, one post read, chillingly blunt. Others pushed back. He's no martyr, he's a coward. The debate raged, splitting communities. Bianca's family watched in horror as their tragedy became a culture war flashpoint. They didn't see her as a person, Frank said, voice heavy, just a symbol for their arguments. Mainstream outrage grew too. Petitions demanding stricter social media rules gained traction. Tens of thousands signed. Platforms let this spread, one organizer raged. They need to pay. Politicians jumped in, vowing reforms, while influencers milked the drama for views. We can't look away, a YouTuber intoned, racking up millions of clicks. But amid the noise, a quieter voice emerged, Bianca's. Friends shared her art, her words, her light. She'd hate this circus, one posted. She was more than this. As sentencing day neared, the clamor hit fever pitch. Would justice silence the chaos or fuel it? March 16, 2021 arrived, and the world held its breath. Brandon Clark was about to learn his fate, and Bianca's story was far from over. March 16, 2021. The courtroom was packed, tension crackling like static, as Brandon Clark stood for sentencing. The judge's face was stone, the air heavy with anticipation. The prosecution had already laid out their case, 25 years to life. This was no ordinary murder, they argued, voice rising. Brandon Clark didn't just kill Bianca Devins, he desecrated her, turned her death into a spectacle for the world to gawk at. They replayed the video's audio, just the sound this time, sparing the room the visuals. That haunting music, Brandon's steady breathing as he ended her life, it was enough. Jurors from the earlier hearings, still haunted, nodded grimly. He planned it, executed it, and gloated, the prosecutor finished. No remorse, no mercy deserved. The defense fought back, clinging to their narrative. He's not evil, he's sick, Brandon's lawyer pleaded, hands gesturing wildly. A broken mind, obsessed with a fantasy, not reality. He needs help, not a cage. They brought up his suicide attempt at the scene, those self-inflicted slashes to his throat. He wanted to die too, the attorney pressed. This was a cry for help gone horribly wrong. A psychiatrist took the stand, diagnosing severe depression, borderline personality traits. He fixated on Bianca, she testified, saw her as his everything, until she wasn't. But the prosecution pounced. A cry for help doesn't include a checklist, they countered, waving the phone evidence. This was cold, calculated revenge. Then, Bianca's family spoke. Kim Devins stood, voice trembling but fierce. You took my baby, she said, staring Brandon down. You filmed it, shared it, tortured us with it. I'll never hear her laugh again because of you. Frank followed, his words a slow burn. She had a huge heart, always helping others, even when she couldn't help herself. You stole that light for your own twisted ego. The room felt their pain, a collective ache. Brandon didn't flinch, just stared ahead, blank as ever. Did he even hear us? Kim wondered later. The judge did. The cruelty here is staggering, he said, voice low. The premeditation, the aftermath, unforgivable. Verdict, 25 years to life. No parole chance. A murmur rippled through the crowd, relief, but not closure. Outside, the reaction was instant. Justice served, trended on Twitter, but not everyone agreed. Too lenient, some raged. He should rot forever. Others saw it differently. He's a kid too, 25 years is enough. Conspiracy nuts doubled down. The system's hiding something, an ex-post claimed. Why no death penalty? News vans lingered, cameras rolling as Kim and Frank emerged, faces weary but resolute. It's not over, Kim told reporters. We'll keep fighting, for Bianca, for others. The sentence was final, but the echoes weren't. Online, in homes, across the world, her story burned on. Fierce, tragic, unstoppable. The gavel had fallen, but the story didn't end in that courtroom. Out in the digital wilds, Bianca Devins' death was still a live wire, sparking fury, grief, and endless debate. Social media platforms, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, became arenas where her name was weaponized. I logged on that morning, one user posted, voice shaking in a viral clip. And there it was again, her photo, edited with stupid captions. I reported it, but it kept popping up. Moderators scrambled, but the flood was relentless. It's like whack-a-mole, a Discord admin admitted. Ban one account, 10 more appear. The cruelty stunned even seasoned internet veterans. Who finds this funny? A Reddit thread demanded. No clear answer, just more memes, more shares. The mainstream press couldn't look away either. Nightly news ran segments, pundits clashing over blame. Social media failed her, one anchor insisted, slamming tech giants. They profit off this garbage. A Silicon Valley rep fired back. We're not babysitters. Users choose what they post. Lawsuits loomed. Bianca's family eyed legal action against platforms for letting the images spread. They have the tech to stop it, Frank growled on air. Why didn't they? Public pressure mounted. Petitions hit millions, demanding new laws. Make them liable, a protester shouted outside Meta's HQ. Politicians smelled votes, drafting bills to tighten online rules. This can't happen again, a senator vowed. Skeptics rolled their eyes. Good luck policing the internet. Conspiracy theories kept churning too. Brandon's just a patsy, an X thread claimed, racking up thousands of likes. Someone bigger orchestrated it, maybe a rival, maybe a cult. No proof, just noise, but it stuck. Others fixated on the incel angle. He's their poster boy, a YouTuber ranted, voice dripping with scorn. Rejected, entitled, deadly. Incel forums didn't deny it. Some praised him outright. He took control, one user posted, chillingly proud. Counterforces pushed back hard. He's no hero, a feminist vlogger snapped, video hitting 1 million views. He's a loser who couldn't handle no. The culture war raged. Bianca's name a rallying cry for every side. Amid the chaos, her loved ones fought to reclaim her. She wasn't this, Kim told a reporter, holding up Bianca's sketches. Vibrant, hopeful art. She was kind, creative, struggling but strong. Friends launched Remember Bianca, sharing her life, not her death. She'd hate being a hashtag, one posted, voice cracking. But we can't let him define her. Slowly, it caught on. Posts of her drawings, her jokes, her light drowning out the darkness. The world was still watching, still arguing, still haunted. Brandon Clark was behind bars, but Bianca's story? It was alive, growing, refusing to fade. And that, maybe, was the real power he'd never anticipated. The world couldn't stop talking about Bianca Devins, and the investigation's aftermath only fanned the flames. Back in Utica, police weren't done digging, not because they doubted Brandon Clark's guilt, but because the why still gnawed at them. We had him cold, a detective said later, voice gruff. But the scale of it, the planning, the showmanship, it didn't add up for a nobody like him. They revisited his online trail, diving deeper into those incel forums. Posts from months before the murder hinted at his spiral, rants about women, cryptic threats. He was escalating, a profiler noted, testing the waters, getting validation. One chilling thread stood out. She'll regret it, he'd written, weeks before July 13th. Was it Bianca he meant? They couldn't be sure, but it tightened the noose around his motive. Forensics kept peeling back layers too. That manga, Punpun, wasn't just a prop. Brandon had annotated it, scribbling notes about fate and sacrifice in the margins. He was living in his head, a psychologist told investigators, building a story where killing her made sense. They cross-checked his search history again. Hundreds of hits on knives, chokeholds, even how to stage a crime scene. He didn't stumble into this, the lead tech said, shaking her head. He rehearsed it. The car yielded more. A second phone, wiped but recoverable, with drafts of messages to Bianca. Please, then rage. Come with me or else, one read. She'd never replied. The The courtroom echoes lingered too. Post-sentencing, the prosecution released more. Clark's jail calls, smug and unrepentant. "I'd do it again," he bragged to a friend, voice tinny over the line. She had it coming. It fueled public fury anew. "He's taunting us," Kim Devins told a local station, eyes red. "Even locked up, he won't stop." The defense cried foul. "He's unwell, not evil." But few bought it. The judge's words at sentencing, a calculated act of depravity, stuck harder. Legal analysts debated on air. 25 to life's fair, one said. But the damage he did? That's forever. Online, the frenzy peaked. True crime YouTubers churned out hour-long breakdowns, maps of the dead-end road pinned with dramatic zooms. "This is where it happened," one intoned, voice low. Views soared, millions hungry for every detail. Conspiracy nuts doubled down. The video's edited, a blogger insisted. "Look at the shadows." No one serious bit, but the chatter kept Bianca trending. Her family pushed back with grace. "She's not your mystery," Frank said in a rare interview. "She's our daughter." Their fight for her legacy grew. Art exhibits, scholarships in her name. The noise wouldn't quiet, but they'd make sure her light outshone it. The end? Not yet, not even close. The story of Bianca Devins didn't fade. It metastasized, a wound the world kept picking at. In Utica, police tied up loose ends, but the case's shadow stretched far beyond. "We thought locking him up would close it," a detective sighed on a podcast months later. "We were wrong." They'd missed nothing. Brandon Clark's guilt was ironclad, but the how haunted them. His final jail call leaked online. "I made her famous," he sneered, voice dripping with pride. It was a gut punch to Bianca's family, proof his ego still fed off her death. "He's a parasite," Kim Devins told a reporter, her voice steel. "Even caged, he's gloating." Investigators wondered, could they have spotted him sooner? His forum posts, those searches, red flags ignored by algorithms until blood was spilled. The courtroom's final act replayed endlessly in public memory. Brandon's sentence, 25 years to life, felt like a win, but not a balm. "Justice isn't healing," Frank Devins said at a vigil, his words raw. "It's just a start." The prosecution's evidence, the video, the checklist, became true crime lore, dissected on every platform. He turned her into content, a commentator raged on CNN. "That's the real crime." The defense's pleas about his mental state drowned in the backlash. "Sick or not, he chose this," a juror later wrote anonymously. "We saw his eyes, empty." Kim's courtroom plea, "You stole my baby," went viral, a mother's cry echoing across screens. The internet, though, owned the aftermath. Bianca Devins stayed atop search, her story a magnet for outrage and obsession. "I can't scroll without seeing her," an ex-user posted in 2022, voice weary. Conspiracy theories morphed. Some claimed the police botched it, others swore Brandon had accomplices. "Look at the video timing," a TikTok sleuth insisted, zooming in on nothing. Junk, all of it, but it racked up views. Incel corners still whispered his name, a dark saint of their warped gospel. "He's us," one wrote. Counter movements roared louder. "He's nothing," a viral thread shot back, millions liking it. Laws tightened. New York passed Bianca's law, pushing platforms to curb gore. "Too late for her," Kim said bitterly, "but maybe not others." Her family reclaimed what they could. "She's more than this horror," Frank vowed, unveiling a mural of her art in Utica, colors blazing. Friends kept Remember Bianca alive, drowning the ugliness with her spirit. "She'd laugh at how we fight for her," one said, smiling through tears. The world watched, argued, grieved. Her story a mirror to our digital age, raw and unyielding. Brandon Clark rots in a cell, but Bianca, she burns on. Fierce, unforgettable, a light no darkness can snuff out. That's her legacy. That's the end he never saw coming. And there it is. Bianca Devins' story, a tragedy that shook us to the core and keeps echoing through our screens. Brandon Clark may be behind bars, but the questions linger. Could this have been stopped? What's next for a world where one click can turn pain into a spectacle? We've walked you through the investigation, the courtroom battles, and the chaos that followed. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Did justice prevail, or is there more to this than meets the eye? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation alive. If this hit you hard, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe. We're diving into more stories like this every week. Bianca's light still shines. Let's not let it fade. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected.